Hi, everybody, and welcome to Chat with Kat. I just wanted to jump on because I had a couple of things happen in the last 24 hours that I felt were really cool and that I wanted to share with all of you because as a person who I would never have thought even watched my videos pointed out, they actually learn quite a bit from the videos that I put out. So I was really excited to hear that from this person because normally when I see them out and about, they like to just pick on me. And, I didn't think that my work really was even in their radar, but it was. So that's kind of cool. And I actually saw this person yesterday at the Shake a Leg Miami Bay Day that was hosted by the Spinal Cord Injury Support Group. And if you don't know what Shake a Leg is, I mentioned it in a couple of my videos. It's a great organization that is made and founded by the wonderful Harry Horgan, who acquired a spinal cord injury in 1990, I believe. And he started out in Rhode Island, then moved down to Miami and opened up a chapter here. And what Shake a Leg is, it's just a wonderful place where people with all disabilities can go out and enjoy the sun and do fun things like sailing and kayaking and so forth, all of which I did yesterday. And I'm sure you saw a couple of my pictures and videos of me sailing. Unfortunately, I didn't get one of me kayaking. I don't know. Maybe I'll see it on their website and I'll let you guys know. And I'll share it here. But yeah, so going back to the person that usually likes to pick on me and say, joking things about my personality and all this stuff, they were very complimentary of me yesterday, saying how my videos really inspire them and that they like the things that I say. So I wanted to share that with you because sometimes you can think one thing about your interaction with someone and you never really know the impact that you're having. And I know I've shared stories like that before, but this keeps coming up for me, and I feel like it's something that I'm meant to share with all of you because you may be going through the same thing where you think, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel, but I have nothing interesting to say, or I want to write a book, but who would read it? Your words matter, your thoughts matter, and so that's what I wanted to say. And maybe you don't want to do either. Maybe you don't want to speak or write a book. Maybe you want to write a song or do a dance or be a comedian. Whatever it is, you matter and what you want to do matters. So that's what I wanted to say about that. And also, while I was there was this guy who was newly injured, and we were all kind of sitting in a circle talking to him, trying to encourage him to be more active and get involved in things. And some were more on the path of tough love than others. And I kind of sat there and observed the conversation for quite a bit. And then I decided to kind of raise my hand and be like, can I interject for a second? And I was able to then speak freely to this person and tell them a little bit about my story, about how I was born with a disability, and it took me a very long time to come to a place of acceptance because of the things that I had gone through with being bullied as a child. And I told him that he will never live, in the way that we live, with having so much fun and doing all these amazing things, if he doesn't get to a place of self-acceptance first. And so I was really kind of encouraging him to take a look at himself and really love himself before, and not let anybody pressure him into doing things that he's not ready to do, because he's not going to do them until he gets to that point of self-acceptance. So that's what I was telling him, and I hope whoever hears this gets something out of that too, if you're struggling with, the courage and the confidence to put yourself out there, to try something new, to be involved in a group. Just know that it starts with how you feel about yourself first. And so that's one of the things that I wanted to share with all of you as well. And lastly, I want to tell you a little story. So a few years ago, I was at the post office and I was going to make a book delivery. And there was a really long line this particular day. And the person that was in the front of the line was a person with Down syndrome. And they were having a really hard time interacting with the cashier, postal service person, because they were asking them a question and the postal service person was being very rude to them. And long story short, I wanted to go straight into catgirl mode and literally fly over the other people that were blocking me from this interaction and just go and save this girl. And because I knew her from afar, she works at my local supermarket, and so I felt like this need to help her and this urgency to be in catgirl mode. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and I couldn't get through the line, and I didn't help her. But then a few weeks later, I saw her at the supermarket, and I told her what had happened. And of course, she remembered the interaction that she had with the postal service person. And that was one of the moments that she just kind of opened up to me, that no one would care what she has to say and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, screw what everybody else thinks. You need to go out and you need to stick up for yourself because you have value and you have all these things. And so I was really, again, trying to encourage her to have self-love, have self-acceptance, and just be who she is. So today I was at the supermarket and I hadn't seen her in a really long time. So I thought maybe she moved or maybe she got a different job. And she and I started talking, and she told me that she has a YouTube channel where she teaches people how to cook. So I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's so cool. Give me the handle and I'll definitely check it out. So for anyone that wants to check it out, it is Jazz Show Biz. And that's 2 Z's in jazz and 2 Z's in biz. So make sure you look her up, Jazz Showbiz, on YouTube. And I'm really excited for her that she has so many followers. And I don't want to discourage her at all. But I will say that I was sad to see that the way she films the scenes of her cooking is basically just a very quick tutorial on how to prep the food, and in no time do you see her face or hear her voice. It's just music background and her just, chopping up the ingredients and mixing it all together, and that's what she does. And on one hand, I want to say I understand why she does this, because maybe she doesn't want to be sensationalized for being a person with a disability and having this particular ability to cook. But on the other hand, I personally would love if she did show her face and let people hear her voice, because I think that anytime that we can break down stereotypes and break barriers and show people what it is that we can do, that's when we're getting closer and closer to real inclusion for people with disabilities or for all people in society. I think that we should all feel confident enough to be seen and heard and show people what it is that we can do. So that made me kind of sad the way she set it up. But again, I don't want to discourage anybody from supporting her because I am going to support her regardless of whether or not I agree with how she's doing it. I think she's a wonderful person. I always love our interactions at the supermarket or around town when I see her. But I hope that, again, like the guy that I saw at Shake a Leg, she can have the confidence to believe in herself and know that she has value as a person and she doesn't need to hide behind the camera. She should let people see who she is. And I just think personally that it would be a more impactful video if they did. Again, I'm not talking about inspirational porn as it's called. I'm just saying that I believe that, society has this very narrow-minded view of people with disabilities, and any time that we can kind of give people the finger or the bird and be like, haha, think again, I can do this, I think that that's what we should do. So that's my thought, and I've been talking for 12 and a half minutes, so I'm going to stop. But I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Mwah.